What's going on, guys? I am not Ric Flair, but I like to start off with the flair. My name is Brandon Draper, better known as the Motivational King, also best-selling author of this book, Becoming Who You Should Be Despite Who You Are, the Thinking Forward Approach to Purpose and Fulfillment. And that is what this course is built off of, the Passion, Purpose, Mindset Academy. Now, guys, look, there's a lot of things that's going on in everyone's life. I mean, pain and suffering is at an all-time high. So guess what? I'm about to roll up my sleeves a little bit because we're about to get in teaching mode. I'm going to teach you something today, all right? So where does a lot of people get caught up in the things, okay? A lot of people get caught up in this first thing we call our past, okay? Our past is a sum total of all the things we've experienced in life thus far, which brings us to what? Our present, our today, and where we're at in life, okay? So many people have a struggle because now what they see is that their present is giving them what we call similarities to what their past is. All right, so then in order, I call this thing the circle of life, because you know, here you got your past, and that's where you started, that's where you're born, and then you go into your present, which is today, and that ultimately leads to your future. So a lot of people get hicked up right here because everything in their life is based upon their past. So when they start seeing similarities that's going on in their life, like, you know, if they had past disappointments, they had past failures and stuff, they start seeing these similarities and they say, you know what, this is where I'm at today. You know, I have a big question mark there because now maybe my future is going to be the same way my past was. So then you start asking yourself these questions, and what I'm telling you today, ladies and gentlemen, it could be the furthest thing from the truth. Now, we got to talk about this thing called eyesight. Okay, eyesight is definitely one word. Eyesight is what you see, is what you're experiencing, is what you're going through. Now, your eyesight, you may be going to homelessness, loss of a job, you may be facing a divorce, you may be potentially losing your children. It's all types of things in our eyesight. It's our inability to process certain information because we're going through so many things. And oftentimes these issues that we have here are some of the things that we've had in our past. So now we're seeing that in our present, our today. So then we start thinking that's ultimately going to be our future. That's what our eyesight tells us. But then we got to get to our mindset. This thing's about to hook up. So look, we got our mindset. What is our mindset? Our mindset is what we have in our head. Just take an opportunity to walk with me on this little journey that I'm trying to paint for you here. Just imagine that, you know, you come home, you know, we always can, what we call fake the funk. We always can put up the joy and we put a smile on our face and we're so happy and everything's going so great. But when we go home, there's nothing but hell in our lives, and our lives seem to be falling apart, and people that know a lot less than us are much more fortunate or more successful, and we start doing that toxic thing where we start comparing ourselves to each other. And that's where the mindset comes in, because guess what? You can fake other people, but the one person you can't fake is yourself. But you got to understand that no matter what you're facing in your eyesight, and that's not what dictates where your future is going. That does not dictate where your life's ultimately going to become. It's you taking a conscious decision in your mind, followed by the appropriate actions that's going to take your future to ultimately become what you mold it to be. How do you mold is your mindset, and that's having the no matter what type of attitude. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what stress I'm facing, no matter what pitfalls and you know, that I'm going to keep on going. Let me tell you something. One of the major ones that hit me, and I talk about it extensively in the book, is death. In 2009, I lost my mother to the battle with lung cancer. No one would have ever told me that I would have watched my mother, a 200-pound plus woman, wither away like an autumn leaf before my eyes. And when people are faced with those type of issues and setbacks, I mean, it can catapult you to greatness, or it can catapult you straight to the grave where your passion, your purpose are never to be exhumed. Because these things that we face in our lives, I mean, it's easier said than done. Anyone can tell you that, you know, oh, you just got to go through and you got to keep on pushing, but sometimes it gets hard to push, right? It gets hard to keep on going when you want to give up. So if you don't understand how your mind works, and if you don't understand that having the right attitude is everything, and I'm not just saying just having just the right attitude, having the right attitude plays an intricate part in a lot of different things. having the right attitude means that you're getting the right information, for one, meaning that you're engulfing yourself in books and audios, and you also associate with the right people. There's an old saying that goes, birds of a feather flock together. Association brings on assimilation. What does that mean? Association, if you associate with certain types of people, you're going to assimilate yourself to their way of thinking. You're going to assimilate yourself to their way of doing things. So it doesn't matter how strong you are, how much tenacity you have, ultimately you're going to become the company in which you keep. So in your mindset, you got to have the right attitude about yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to keep on pushing no matter what, because this is concept that I honestly believe in. It goes here, sow seed method. You're going to reap a harvest. It's impossible, and you gotta believe me here when I'm telling you this. I believe that it's impossible, and you have to believe that it's impossible for you to sow a seed and not reap a harvest. But how long is it going to take you to reap the harvest is the question. Now, in the midst of you sowing seeds, are there going to be disappointments? Are there going to be setbacks? Yes, of course there are. That's life. No one understands why this happens. It's just one of the mysterious things of life. Don't take a lot of time trying to figure out why life is the way it is. Don't take so much time trying to figure out life. Just experience life. That's my personal opinion. I honestly believe that if you take more time trying to experience life more than you try to understand it, you'll get a lot further ahead. So, sow the seed. Basically, you're sowing the seed and you wait for the harvest. That may take a month, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. There's been times in history, we look at the story of Nelson Mandela. It took him 26, 27 years for his harvest to come in, but he never stopped believing. So the question that I would ask you today, are you willing to believe? Are you willing to wait for the harvest to come in? It's impossible for you to keep sowing seeds and not get anything back in return, but you have to be willing to stay in the fight. What happens is that so many of us, we sow seeds, but before the harvest can come in, we quit. We quit. So what happens is so many people out there that believe that they need this much to make it happen. Well, in fact, they only need that much to make it happen. So what is that one thing? I call it the lock syndrome. That's what I call it. Because in life, this whole concept that we're talking about today is nothing more than an idea. Another idea that's going to perpetuate you forward in finding your passion, your purpose, and correcting your mindset a little bit. That's all it is an idea. But just imagine if you were one idea away from being successful. What would you be willing to do if you just needed one more idea? But if you're not exposing yourself to the right information, the right associations, you're never going to actually be able to experience that type of freedom, that type of liberation. Okay, so in the lock syndrome, we got, let's say you got 5 numbers you need. Okay, but you only have 4 right now. You only have 4. So you need one more idea. It could be one more book. It can be meeting one more person. It could be reading one more article. It could be listening to one more audio. It could be going to one more seminar. But if you don't do it, you're never going to get that last idea. You're never going to get that last number that you need to unlock your potential, to unlock your passion and your purpose, and finding your true self. So just imagine if you never find that. So you got 4 numbers, but you're missing that last link that's going to open up your future. But you just don't do it. You don't do the right things to do it. What I found through a lot of people, through a lot of teaching, through a lot of different clients is that, everybody wants to do the big things. The big things. Okay, the big things, you may be able to do 1 to 2 big things a year. Okay, what do I mean by big things? Meaning like, it could be just revamping your whole business, revamping your whole life. But those things are so huge that you may be able to do 1, maybe 2, or maybe even none. So, but we concentrate on doing so many big things. It's like a person thinking that they have this much to do when they really only have that much to do. So my teaching, my philosophy is to work on the little things, because guess what? The little things, you can do 50 to 100 of those a day. Okay, the true art of winning in life, winning in your purpose, and truly being fulfilled is learning how to do the small things good. and eventually doing the small things great. Because if you keep doing the small things, it's going to get compounded. You're going to be starting reciprocating all the things that you've done, the little things. Because what if you can't do the big things? What if you just can't change your life just that fast and that much? But if you constantly do the little things, little by little, and you keep compounding that, eventually you can be able to do one thing really big in your life. And eventually you might be able to do 2 or 3 or 4 big things, but it starts with the little things. Most people concentrate so much on the big things that they never get the little things that mean the most accomplished, and they wind up losing their life. So at the end of the game, what is going to be the score? What is going to be the score in your life? Okay, on this side we got eyesight, we got all the negative things happening in our life, all the things, all the problems and issues that we are facing. What's the score? Okay, eyesight has 10. Eyesight has 10, so they've scored 10 points on us because we're going through all these problems, we're going through all these things, and we're trying to come up with solutions. And some of us, this is a thing called the activated reticulum, and basically what that allows us to do is that we see what we're presented with. An example of that is, let's say for instance, you buy a Mercedes-Benz, or your friend buys a Mercedes-Benz, or high-end car, or you want a Mercedes-Benz. So from that point on, once you make that desire and you say that I want that, I'm starting to observe that I want that type of vehicle, that's what I want, guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start seeing that vehicle over and over and over. Like, everywhere you go, like, man, I'm seeing this Mercedes, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. I keep seeing the same vehicle. Why? Because the vehicle's always been there, but now you're starting to recognize it. So you think about that with your eyesight versus my sight. If you're engulfing yourself with the right information, and you're getting the right associations, and you're engulfing yourself with the right information, every time an opportunity that's going to help enhance your growth and your ability, you're going to start recognizing those instances that you need to be a part of that. There's a seminar coming in town in the newspaper. You've read the same newspaper for years. This seminar's been going on for years, but now you recognize that you need that to take your life to the next level. So you got all these circumstances also. You got 10. End of the game, my side hasn't beat by 10 points. So now you got 20 points over here. Why? Because it's more important to concentrate on the little things. It's more important to concentrate on the little things. It's more important to have the right mindset, to know that you don't have to do all the big things, that you might only need one number. You might only need one number to take your life to the next level. You understand the circle of life. You understand that your past is a sum total of everything that you've experienced, and that brings you to today. But your future does not have to be reflective of a negative past. It does not have to be reflective of a negative present. But if you got the right mindset and mindset, that's going to doggone steer your sails in the right direction that you ultimately need to go in to revolutionize your life. And that is what the Passion Purpose Mindset Academy is designed to do. To take that, so you can start taking that mind shift, and you start getting that time shift, to understand that your most valuable asset that you have is time. It's the most valuable asset. It's not money, it's time. You can make more money, but you cannot get more time. It does not matter who you are, how much money you have. Every day, every single day, we all start off at the same. Now, you may not have ever thought about this concept like this before, but understand what I'm saying. Each and every day, we all start off with a clean slate. Meaning when 12 o'clock or 12:01 hits, we all have 24 hours. It's a level, even playing ground for all of us. What are you doing your 24 hours that's enabling you to take your life to the next level? And what is someone else doing that they're capitalizing on it? I don't care if you're Warren Buffett. I don't care who you are. You can be a superstar. At the end of the day, we all have 24 hours. So what evens the playing field out is understanding and recognizing that you only have 24 hours, just like everyone else. But what are you doing in those 24 hours? The people that are winning on life are not looking at the eyesight, not looking at the negative things. Because guess what? Whether you have money, success, you're still faced with problems. You're still faced with issues. You're still going through those things. But how are those people looking at their problems and issues, and how are their mindset set in a way that they know no matter what, I'm gonna win. no matter what. That's how these winners look. They look, I got 24 hours, and at the end of the 24 hours, all I know is that I'm going to win. No matter what circumstance that I'm facing, no matter what, I'm going to win. But if you over here operating on, this is happening to me, oh me, and having pity parties, your present is always going to be reflective of your past, and guess what? Your future is always going to be reflective of your past. That's the bottom line. That's what differentiates successful people from non-successful people, is understanding that concept that your mindset, your mindsight has to be stronger than your eyesight, what you're going through. And that, my friend, is going to take your life to the next level. So I encourage you, if you look at this video, please enroll in the Passion Purpose Mindset Academy. It will change your life forever. And understand that I believe that change should be something that's affordable. So just imagine we're taking, thousands and thousands of dollars of training and information and compiling it in a course that's affordable. You can look at, I'm like the guy with the Reading Rainbow. Don't take my word for it. Look and do your own investigation to find out what a course like this will cost you, that's going to be able to take that mind shift and change the way you think. Thousands and thousands of dollars, and if they try to get you in there, they're going to try to upsell you on something else. We're giving you the meat. We're not just giving you bones. We're not just giving you fluffery. We're telling you concrete doctrine that's going to help you take your life to the next level. Now look, guys, we got a workbook here that is going to be a digital download on the course, where we got 25 pages with each thing that we talk about in this course. You can go through on your own leisure in your time. No one's doing this. No one's doing this and making it affordable for you, the average day person, the person that, hey, I got kids, I got a full-time job. One of the things that's kind of peculiar to me that I've discovered is that so many people are so busy losing that they can't find the time to get the information to win. So just imagine you having access to a course that you can take anytime, 24/7, anytime you want to. You can invest yourself with just a little bit of time. You're away from the kids, it's evening time. Look at a video. Look at a video to complete the workbook. You can transform your life. It may take a couple of months, it may take a couple of years, but at least you're taking some steps forward to progressing your life. So many people, like we said earlier, are just stuck in their past. Well, that won't work for me. I'm different. What makes you any different anymore? What makes you think that you can't have what you want? That's the saddest story I ever heard. Someone to think that they don't have the ability to get what they want out of life because of their past. Well, I wasn't born in this family. I didn't have that type of money. I don't have this type of education. So freaking what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter where you're from. You have an opportunity to transform your life. The information is here. I'm giving it to you. Pennies on a dollar. Why? Because I care. I created this course. It wasn't for me. It was for the people, to be able to share my experiences, to share my time that I was on the battlefield. There were times when I felt I was going to be gone. I wouldn't even be here. But I knew I had a purpose. I knew I had a purpose when I was younger. When I was 6 years old, and a pine tree fell on my bed as soon as my mother picked me up during a hurricane. Hurricane Hugo. A lot of people may remember that storm, one of the most developed storms to ever hit the eastern seaboard. That storm came and ripped through my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, and right before my mom could close the door, she had me in her arms, a pine tree fell through the bed. So I know I have a purpose. There were times where I was downrange in wartime, and there were times where a guardian angel saved my life, I believe. That I was taken out of harm's way to be here in front of you. This, I know I have a purpose. And maybe my purpose is to connect with you on another level that no one's ever talked to you or been able to communicate and connect with you. I just don't want to communicate a message. I want to literally connect with you and tell you that there is a way if you know your why. And at the Passion Purpose Academy, we are going to help you take your life to the next level and show that if there's a way, there is your why. And if you know your why, there's a way. This is the Motivational King. I love you, and I'll see you on the other side.